If you're foam rolling your lower back in hopes of getting back pain relief, you need to stop immediately. I'm gonna show you a better way of using the foam roller for low back pain relief that you can do right now. If you're new here, my name is William and I teach chronic low back pain sufferers just like you how to overcome years of back pain by mastering their mindset, improving their movements, and building smarter strength. So if you've tried everything, you don't wanna have surgery, you're done with the injections, the PT rounds that you're doing are no longer working, this is the right place for you. Common mistake I see with foam rolling and low back pain is we are trying to attack the symptom. We're chasing pain and we're using this massage tool in hopes of triggering these muscles to relax or let go or to stop the symptoms that you're experiencing. I wanna give you a different approach, more of a top-down, bottom-up approach when it comes to targeting a very specific place like the low back. Warning, if any of these things causes you more pain, you need to stop, okay? Goal here is to get you away from foam rolling directly on the low back and give you some tools that'll work better. Now, what I want you to start with, instead of the low back that we're gonna be hammering, I want you to work upstream from the low back. And we'll start just like this. I like to have my foam roller. This is your basic kind of medical grade foam. Lots of different types of foam rollers you can use. There's like rumble rollers. There's ones that have knobs in it. The goal is to be relaxed. If you're not relaxed, it's gonna be very hard for your body to let go and these muscles to actually soften. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this foam roller a little bit higher up on my back. So right probably below my shoulder blades. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna lift up, keeping my core and my spine in a neutral place. And I'm gonna start just learning to relax this area. And I'm just gonna start above, obviously way above the actual low back. You're probably like, well, why is he doing his mid and upper back if the low back hurts? We're trying to work up and downstream from the source of the pain. Oftentimes the source of the pain or the pain is not the solution for the pain, okay? So I'm gonna start here in my upper back. I'm gonna work my way down nice and slow. Once I get to a point where I can start getting a little bit of extension in my back, I'm gonna start working some of that into it, okay? So I'll start with a couple of rolls here, breathing. Inhale, exhale, my butt is off the floor, and I'm gonna kind of start working my spine in sections. So when I'm doing the extension part, I want my butt to be planted on the ground. You can play around with having your ribs locked down versus allowing them to float a little bit. I like to have them locked down a little bit more and then practice focusing on that extension in the spine by itself and not flaring my ribs up too much. You can play around, see what's more comfortable for you. I'm gonna work down towards my low back. So now I've done my upper back and I'm gonna do this gentle extension while I'm breathing. And I'm gonna work down the spine right till we get to, I would say, the base of the ribs. If you were to reach around and kind of see where the ribs are at, I don't want you to go too low. Once you get to the point where you're shaking and your core is engaged, this right here is way too low. My lower back is sitting on this foam roller. So I want you to come up from that low back area and gently get extension in, okay? If it's hard to hold your head up, you can put your hand behind your head. You can grab a towel and put it around your neck like this and hold the towel like you're in kind of like a roller coaster kind of thing, where you have the towel like this, so you can rest your head and your hands are actually allowing you to hold your head up, but also not get too fatigued because it's nice and tight by your side. And you're gonna allow yourself to extend in the low back or in the mid to upper back. Now, once we've done that, we're not gonna go downstream from that. We're gonna actually turn. I wanna pause really quick. If you feel like you've tried everything to get yourself out of pain, even foam rolling, and it doesn't seem to work, you don't wanna have more injections, I wanna give you access to a free workshop that I just put together called my Hybrid Relief Workshop. I'm gonna walk you through the 3 most important things that you need to be doing right now to stop the cycle of pain that you're on, and the very first thing that you should start with in order to get lasting transformation type of relief. This is the process that I take all of my one-on-one students through. I'm gonna give you a workshop explaining exactly how it's done. Aside from that, I'm gonna show you exactly how you should be working out or using exercise to get back on your feet with no back pain whatsoever, along with some big mistakes that are commonly made on a daily basis that are keeping you stuck. It's all free inside this workshop. Go to fitnessforbackpain.com/relief workshop. Watch it, it's yours, it'll change your life. Now let's jump back in. And now we're gonna hit what's called your QL, or your Quadrus Lumborum. So oftentimes we have a lot of tightness on either side of the back. So you might have it here between the bottom rib and your hip bone here, and it's gonna be sitting right in this area. So what you can do is turn slightly onto your right or left butt cheek, and you're gonna sit that foam roller, trying to sit the foam roller in between that lower rib and that hip crest, that bony area. And what you're doing is you're first not gonna roll around and wiggle too much. We're just gonna breathe, okay? Oftentimes when it's very, very tight, very sensitive, you probably have already tried stretching it. It's not just gonna let go because you're pushing on it now. You want to be able to breathe and relax and try to get it to shut down the defense mechanism without stretching it. So what I do is I will apply pressure to this area. You can rolling forward, you're not gonna hit it. If you're really on your side, like a side plank, you've gone too much. You have to kind of roll back and get off of your obliques, and you should feel it right before you roll onto that spine. You're gonna sink into like a little pocket. That's typically where that QL is at. And you can adjust to kind of feel and see if you can find the area. You can move up a little bit. If you have a smaller foam roller, you can be a little bit more sharper on the lower part of the QL or the upper part. If your foam roller is bigger, like mine's a little bit bigger, it's gonna be more of like a general area. Sit here, and you can work up and down a little bit, but the goal is to not contract these muscles. You don't want to be contracting them and then trying to foam roll them at the same time. You want to kind of hunt around, see if there is a little sticky spot, and just breathe through it, okay? We're not trying to cause more irritation. We're not trying to do anything. You can see how I'm kind of holding myself up here. I don't want to put all my weight on this foam roller because it might not lead to a good result. So you want to be very, very cautious. So you'll flip over and do that on both sides. I'll spare you the details, but it'll be just like this. Bam. I'll follow the same protocol with that. Now, once we've done the upper mid back, you've done some extension work, you've done the QL area, now we're gonna get the front of the hips. We're gonna flip over and hit the muscles that are opposite of the low back, okay? The way I like to do this is simply by getting the foam roller, and we're gonna be kind of hitting this area right in here. And you'll find some really kind of sticky areas. It might be on the more inner part, might be the middle, or the outside. Hunt around, find what works best for you. So flipping over, what I'm gonna do is I like to start by rotating, kind of very similar to the QL thing, rotate and hit this little chunky piece of muscle right here. It's usually very tight for most people. So I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna roll towards my hip towards you, and I'm gonna find that area, and I'm just trying to relax my legs. See how I can internally and externally rotate my hip? This is really just activating and moving this muscle a little bit so I can really get a massage effect on that area. Once I've done that, I'm simply going to move this foam roller up and down till I hit that bony structure there. I'm not trying to roll my stomach. And I'm just gonna go up and down. I might roll around a little bit, but I'm working towards sitting flat on this foam roller. That's the goal. So I'm working from the outside around that hip area to the middle right here. Boom. Now I can focus on hitting the top of that quad. I don't have a whole lot of issues here, so I'm not feeling it a whole lot. You can bend your leg up some and get a little bit different angle here and get some of the inside of that leg if you'd like. Once you start getting in this position, be very cautious of your back. You might want to be sitting on some kind of pillow or some kind of support so your low back. See how my back is sagging? You don't want too much sag if you're very, very sensitive. So again, one way of doing it is just simply rolling like this. You can roll up and down. You can do something like this where you're kind of moving and rotating at the hip or taking your leg and dropping it in, dropping it out. And you can do this up and down the front of that leg. Very simple process, guys. You don't have to complicate it. Don't spend too much time doing it. We're not stretching. We're not trying to beat it up. These are just three very, very simple ways that you can approach massaging and getting some tension and pain released from the low back with the foam roller without actually having to hammer the low back with this tool. Now, if you've spent some good time doing foam rolling, stretching, exercising, all the things that you've done, you feel stuck still. You still can't get to the bottom of your pain. Maybe you've plateaued. It's a very common thing, and sometimes these work really, really good to get rid of pain, but sometimes it just kind of treats the symptoms. And if you find it treating the symptoms, you may need a more detailed approach. Now, I work with people one-on-one inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. If you feel stuck in pain, you've done PT, you've done injections, you've done all the things that the doctor doctor has told you to do and you still struggle with chronic back pain, let's have a very simple conversation. We can decide whether or not what I do inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program can actually work for you. This is for people who are very serious about getting out of pain. They feel like they've tried everything. They can't get to the bottom of their pain. They're always dealing with flare-ups constantly here and there throughout the year. This strategy, the hybrid relief method that I use, might be the game-changing tool that you need for your pain. Just go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. I'll give you some information on the actual program. Give us a time to have that strategy call and we can see if what I do can actually help you. Again, fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you on the next episode.